Saatchi Gallery in Adelaide is the largest exhibition the Art Gallery of South Australia has staged. 41 artists, 123 works that take the pulse of British art through the eyes of Charles Saatchi, one of the world's most eminent and provocative collectors of contemporary art over the last 3 decades. It is the first time Saatchi Gallery has shown any of its artworks in its collections in Australia. It's a broad and diverse exhibition and traverses 70% of the gallery and really transforms the Art Gallery of South Australia.
It's very much about saying, these are the next generation of British artists. We don't quite know where they're going to go, what they're going to become, but we can be sure that, amongst this group of artists are the next sort of Tracy M and Damien Hirst.
Charles Saatchi in the 80s and 90s was really keen on discovering a new vocabulary of artists, and he bought from student exhibitions and artist-run spaces and really promoted artists that were taking British art to a new place.
As part of this exhibition, we also brought out Tracy Emin's My Bed, which is probably one of the most iconic works of the late 20th century. It sits aside from the rest of the show, which is basically, unknown artists, unknown to most people in Australia. But that's about contextualising the importance of Charles Saatchi as a collector.
As really a reference point, the work was made in the late 90s and really polarised opinion about if it was art. It's quite a gritty, personal work that did change the way that we might look at a portrait of an artist, and it does make you think about where art has come and where it might go. Saatchi Gallery in Adelaide is really the next generation of artists that are post the YBA movement, and Charles Saatchi has selected 41 artists that really develop on from what the YBAs did. There's a large sculptural component, and many artists are moving between mediums and materials. They create alchemy by combining untraditional or extraordinary materials.
Artists are returning to making and crafting, so there's a lot of play and fun, and so you have an artist like Jonathan Baldock using Play-Doh as a medium for making sculpture.
It is taking a pulse of what's going on at this moment, that there are artists that are moving beyond 2 dimensions and into 3 dimensions in more critical ways than we've seen in the past.
Swarm is a really important piece in the evolution of my work. I started collecting insects and incorporating parts of the insects into the fairy skeletons. I make the fairies out of plant roots stuck together with super glue. It's quite low tech. I find it funny that the fairies have gone to Australia because it's a country that's quite paranoid about invasive species, and I kind of view the fairies as an invasive species because they wreak havoc wherever they go.
You do see a lot of painting in this exhibition, and Charles Saatchi has always said that he loves paintings and sculpture, and paintings are a big feature of this exhibition. But artists in this exhibition continue to transform what we know about the medium of painting, and they use technology to help, they use photography to help. They sometimes reference the classical traditions of painting, but what they do is they evolve it into a new hybrid.
Like the artist Jed Quinn, who's sort of using the 17th century classical Italian landscape tradition and inserting, recent horrors from the 20th century as sort of a way of fracturing that idealised way in which we view the past.
Well, I think it's really important for the Art Gallery of South Australia to host this exhibition because it demonstrates that we're connected to the parallel things that are going on around the world. And I think a state gallery needs to see the world from lots of different perspectives when it comes to art making. It's not the definitive statement of contemporary art, it's merely one person's view, but an incredibly interesting, engaging and curious view of the world.